I'm your host, Luck123. You're joining me for My First Two Loves, Chapter 41. The half of it. Oh, violence and police brutality, you don't say. Now, playing as Mason. When we were kids, a fight with Emma would turn my whole world upside down. Who would I play with at recess? Who'd I tell my weirdest, darkest secrets to? Not having Emma was like not having air. This wasn't the first time I'd ever let Emma down, but it was the one time that hurt the most. Of course it did. I dragged myself out of bed one Sunday morning, trying to resist the urge to text Emma some random good morning message. Okay, get up. Go about your day, be normal. It was still weird to even have a bedroom on the second floor. Some days I woke up and forgot I wasn't in my old house. I headed down the stairs, still unused to the heated flooring and hand-carved railings. Morning, Dad. Son. I grimaced at his curt tone and started pouring myself some cereal. Not coffee, really. Listen, unless you're born with an IV of coffee, you are not living. No, you've had enough carbs for the week. It's protein day. I barely had enough time to react as he slid a bottle my way. It was heavy and full of a protein shake. Dad, don't you get sick of tracking my carbs? Seems like a lot of work. Not at all. Someone has to make sure you make the most of your training. Gotta keep those muscles in shape for the next round of interviews with that scout. Soon you'll be following my footsteps as star quarterback at Air Force Academy. Dad, about that scholarship, I'm not sure I want to be locked into the Air Force Academy just yet. Son, please, we talked about this. The Air Force Academy is the right decision for you. This is the future we decided on. Don't tell me you've got cold feet at the finish line. Dad, football's fun, but it's just a game. I don't want it to be the only thing that defines me. I don't know if I can go at someone else's expense. I sometimes wonder if I really earn this, you know? That night with the scout, he seemed undecided, but then you talked to him and... Enough! Don't you dare call my integrity into question. You are such a disappointment. All you do is make mistake after mistake and leave me to clean up your mess. If it wasn't for you, Noah Harris would have robbed our old house in the first place. Isn't that right? Half-forgotten memories from freshman year came rushing back into your mind. Noah and I laughed at football practice, hanging out after school that terrible night at our old house. If you didn't trust people so easily, you would have seen Harris for what he was. A no-good lowlife who was only out to get our cash. Part of me knew it wasn't that simple. Noah and I had been friends once. Hadn't we? Making me choose a diamond choice. Come on now. Dad, you don't know what it was like. And it all came spilling out. How Noah Harris had been my best friend in Eastridge. How we just clicked. Emma and I always been attached at the hip, but after her mom passed away freshman year, things changed. We were all hurting, and with Emma gone most days, I guess I needed someone to fill the void. I met Noah Harris at tryouts for junior varsity football. He was sitting by himself, and I claimed the seat next to him. Hey, seat taken? No, go ahead. Welcome to tryouts. Now, you might just be junior varsity, but don't think for a minute I'm gonna go easy on you kids. I could tell the kid next to me was a bit worried, so I leaned over to say something to make him laugh. Hey, do you think... His pants look like they have a poop stain on them? Noah snorted on his sports drink, and Coach immediately cut us a glare. What did I just say? I'm not going easy on you just because you're new. Both of you owe me 10 laps. Because of a snort? We scrambled down the track. The first laps of the season were always brutal, and by the 5th, both Noah and I had to take a break. Sorry I got us into trouble. Should have kept my mouth shut. Don't worry, it was totally worth it. You think so? Yeah, I don't know many people here yet. It's nice. We bumped fists, and that was the start of everything. We became fast friends, and by winter, we were inseparable. Did you see Mr. Jackson's face when the frog started moving? I thought he was gonna faint. I don't think anyone expected our anatomy class to have live models. But Noah's face fell as one of our classmates strolled up to us. "'Tis the season for charity, huh, Jennings? Good for you. Giving back to the less fortunate." Noah clenched his jaw and looked away. Darren had already started to smirk. I wanted to wipe it right off his face. Hey Darren, I have much better taste than you do. Hey, it's your tumble-down social ladder. I was just trying to break your fall. I'm good, thanks. Oh, and Darren, one day, you and I are going to have a little follow-up conversation. I'll be looking forward to it. Darren sulked away, and Noah turned to me with a smile. That was cool of you. Usually I'm the one picking the fights. Yeah, that's what friends are for. And that's what our friendship was like. We always had each other's backs no matter what. Which is why I didn't think anything of inviting him over to my house before we moved. Whoa, this is where you live? Don't trip over your jaw, man. It's just a house. My parents have actually been itching to move someplace bigger. My mom's always complaining she wants a nicer walk-in closet. I never lived somewhere with enough space for a walk-in closet, period. Your place is huge. I'll give you a tour so you don't get lost. This is the living room, the bathroom that way, and my room's up there. Let's go. Wait, what's through there? Oh, that's just my dad's office. But wait till you see my dad's electric car in the garage, really. My gaming room. I'm actually really proud of it. The setup for all my new consoles. Some of them are really rare limited edition versions. That's crazy. In my place, the gaming room is also known as the living room and the kitchen. Don't worry, my streaming room, gaming room, living room, and bedroom are all my bedroom. I mean, technically my living room, but I have a living... Shut up. Just shut up. As far as I am concerned, what was mine was his. Then, one day, things change, and I didn't know it at the time. It's just gonna suck being at the house all by myself. Most of the time I don't mind, you know, but for a whole weekend, I was wondering if I could crash at yours. We'll be out of town this weekend, but why don't I give you the security code to get in? You'll have full access to my house, no one will know. I wrote down the code to our garage door and slid it over to him. I didn't know then what a huge mistake that was. It didn't happen that weekend, but a few weeks later, I was reading a book when I heard commotion out front. Whoever you are, you picked the wrong house. I froze. I heard a door slam, and then a deafening crack ripped through the night. I've only heard that sound once in my life, but it was something I'll never forget. Dad? I rushed to my window to see my dad lowering his gun as a figure in the shadows limped off into the woods. In the dark, the person was unrecognizable, but the silhouette was eerily familiar. No. I'd like to report an attempted robbery. No, I didn't get a good look at the guy before he ran off. Dad's voice faded as he ducked back inside. He had no clue who it was, but I had an idea. But I needed to confirm it for sure. So I snuck out the window and went out after Noah. See, I couldn't have known he'd betray me. He is my best friend, Dad. Friend. You throw that word around to anyone who will pay you the slightest bit of attention. It's pathetic. I can barely stand to look at you. Never in my life did I think I'd see you this weak. What was that word again? Weak. It froze me in the tracks as one last memory flashed in my mind. One I could never seem to forget, no matter how hard I tried. I'm weak. What about you? I haven't forgotten what the cops did after the burglary, Dad. What happened to Noah? What you let happen to him? Don't you mean what we let happen to him? No, that's not what happened. I tried. My mind raced, and suddenly I was back to that night, stumbling through the woods, searching for Noah. Noah? I found him crumpled up against a tree, pressing his hands to his stomach. Oh. Yeah, your dad, he shot me. Maybe my dad wouldn't have shot you if you weren't sneaking around our house. How did you even get in? Noah looked away, gritting his teeth. The code. You used the code to our security system that I gave you. It doesn't matter now. I need to get to my brother. As mad as I was, I couldn't just let him bleed out on the ground. I helped him up, and he leaned on me all the way back to my dad's car. Wait, did you even know how to drive? No, but I'll manage. My dad's car has some fancy self-driving features. You can explain everything on the way to the hospital. No hospitals. They'll turn me in. Shut up. I'm not gonna let you die. Jail might suck, but it's better than the morgue. Please, Mason, just take me to my brother. He's waiting for me at the bus station. He said he'd wait. He'll know what to do. I ignored him, and somehow we arrived at the hospital in one piece. He glared at me as we pulled in, even as the EMT loaded him onto the gurney. Family only. I'm his cousin. EMT raised an eyebrow but didn't say a word and followed them into the emergency room. I can't believe you brought me here. You should have left me. Are you serious? You were shot. Before he could reply, the doors banged open and police swarmed the room along with the EMT who would wheel us in. Officers, these boys are the one who came in a nice car, but without warning, the nearest cop used her elbow to pin Noah against the gurney, while another yanked me from my seat and slammed me to the floor. You like robbing hard-working people? Well, here's a tip. Next time, steal a less flashy getaway car. Leave him out of this. He had nothing to do with it. I was hearing pain shot through my shoulder as this officer tried to wrangle my arm behind my back. You're hurting me. Stop resisting. Yeah, okay, buddy. Just when I thought the pain in my shoulder couldn't get any worse, a shadow fell over us. What are you doing? That's not the boy who robbed me, that's my son. That's what I was trying to tell you. That's Mason Jennings. His dad's the principal at East Ridge High School. The officer relaxed his grip and stared into my face, pressed against the linoleum. My kid goes to East Ridge. Hey, are you one of the JV quarterbacks? And just like that, he offered me a hand up and clapped me on my still aching shoulder. You got one hell of an arm, kid, and you almost ruined his throwing career. From the bed, Noah howled in pain as another officer struggled to hold him down. Looking nervous, the EMT walked off into another room like nothing was happening. Put your hands up! I mean, let's be honest. I've seen worse. Officer, stop, you're hurting me! Her elbow dug deep into his gut, crushing the wound, and Noah let out a guttural moan. The pain in his voice helped me find mine, and I managed to croak out. Please, he's in pain. He's been shot. I took a step towards the officers, but Dad's hand grabbed my shoulder like a vise. His fingers dug down so hard a jolt of pain shot down my arm. This doesn't concern you. But they're hurting him. The following scene may contain a realistic depiction of police brutality and asphyxiation. I've seen worse. We included this scene because of how important to our writers on the staff with personal experiences regarding the subject. I've literally died to a cop. Let's go. Oh, for the love of Christ! Come on! If the subject is painful for you, you can skip ahead. Your choice will not affect the story. Continue. My dad tried to drag me away towards the exit, but I lunged back towards the bed with all my strength. Officer, you've got to stop. This is a hospital. He's here because he needs help. The nearest officer threw me a dismissive look before turning back to Noah and bearing down with even more force. Little help over here? The cop who had cleared me charged over and leveled his weight against Noah's chest, holding him down even as he screamed, "Ah!" We're not playing games with you, punk. You're under arrest for burglary. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, get off of me. I was strained against the weight on his chest, but the officer grabbed his arm, wrenching it at awkward angles in a fight for dominance. Stop resisting! Finally, the officer handcuffed him to the railing, and my dad gained the upper hand, hauling me out of the room by force. Is he gonna be okay? That is not our problem. Oh no, that was really, no, that was, wow, that was so traumatizing. I shook my head, desperately trying to clear away the memory. You tried to convince me that he deserved what he'd gone, just like you try to convince me that I'm a disappointment. But I saw who you were that night, so you don't get to call me weak. Not after I saw what a coward you were. That was about as weak as what just happened in the hospital, I'm just saying. That was weak. That was, ooh. Really, I've told worse on my streams. I didn't wait for a response before I turned my back on him and ran out of the house. Running had always been my way of de-stressing. As my feet pounded against the sidewalk, I tried to get a handle on my feelings. From that night on, even seeing Noah filled me with guilt and shame. He'd betrayed me, and I hated him for it. No, he didn't! You don't even know why the hell he was at the house! But maybe I hated myself a little for what I did to him. Before I knew it, I'd made it to Emma's neighborhood. Across the street, I saw her and Mackenzie get into her dad's car. Tell her I miss her. The words dried up in my throat. It was something I had to do before we talked it out. If I wanted to get Emma back, either as a friend or something more, I needed to settle things with Noah, once and for all. And so here we are. I tracked Noah down in the cafeteria and we stood face to face again after all this time. Noah, I want to talk about the night you robbed my family. Did you ever actually want to be friends? Was any of that genuine, or did you just see an easy target? I don't have to mince words. You don't have to. I just want some answers. I watched his face for any glimmer of the truth. He looked at me steadily for a moment, and then his face actually fell. Did he feel guilty? You're right about deserving answers, but it wasn't like that. I'll tell you everything. But not now. Soon, I promise. In the next chapter, that's how Pixelberry does. Like I said, I have seen worse. So, for those of you who don't tune into my streams, I'll go ahead and give it to you. So I was in juvie. I know, right? But I'm not in juvie for what you could possibly think of. I guess you'll just have to wonder why I was in juvie. Long story short, my grandfather's a prick. He told the guy in juvie, who ended up getting it out for me, that I ended up hitting my grandmother, which was a complete fictitious lie. By the way, I have no record. I've never been charged, and all charges were dropped because my grandfather lied. But he told the guy who was running juvie that. The guy got it out for me, and I ended up having a severe asthma attack. The guy didn't believe I had asthma because he was told I didn't, and that I would end up faking or doing anything I could to get out of any possible anything whatsoever in there. And I would always cry, wolf. I ended up laying on the floor, being unable to breathe. I was revived by EMTs. Long story short, that was very tame, Pixelberry. Like, you give 3 warnings that they could skip that, and the best you get is a guttural moan? Really? We've had worse in The Witness. Like, I haven't been that built up and then failed since Blair Witch, but at least that was a good game. Like, this was a joke, okay? This was a literal joke. Like, I could go down a list of other events, but that was the closest thing since we're talking about asphyxiation and what happened with, a lot of people in this year alone. let alone how many cops have done it to other people as well. So that was tame, Pixelberry. And you're talking about this is very passionate and close to our writers, and it has happened to them in the whole 9 yards, and that was it? The severe lack of writing and detail and everything else just makes me wonder if, one, either you just wouldn't clear it, and this is the closest you gave us to writing a semblance at all, or was complete bullshit. Well, like, we've seen worse on ER, House, like, so many shows that it's not funny, and they never had to give a warning like this. And yet you gave a 3 warning build-up, and this was nothing. That's not even counting the initial warning for the book when it first started, and nothing happened. Nothing. This is a joke. This is literally and figuratively a joke. It's really a shame, because you had a chance to tell a story, and you failed. You failed a lot of people today, Pixelberry. You really did. Like, all I can do is shake my head at you. You are a disgrace and a discouragement with that. But I digress. You had an ability to at least change someone's mind somewhere today. Like, this just really pisses me off. This really pisses me off that you had the ability to at least change people's mind and convey a message. Let me convey a better message than you will ever do. Police suck, but not every police officer sucks. Every human being that enrolls in the police academy everybody's different. Everybody's raised differently. Everybody has their moral compasses. Everybody has a thing. Every police officer is completely different. Just because they throw on that uniform doesn't make them autonomic and they become programmed in the whole 9 yards. Yes, you're going to have bad cops, but you also have good cops too. Just saying. But yeah, there are, it seems like, a lot of bad cops. Because bad things like to blow up. Sensationalization and the whole 9 yards. You are today's a very, just very flamboyant symptom of that. You build up this hype, this negative hype, this, oh my god, it's going to be horrific 3 times. And it fell on flat ears. It fell on flat on its face. Like, you could have conveyed a message, and you failed. So, sorry about ranting, guys, but I just had to. Like, I showed more passion than Pixelberry in this instance, and that's how I feel because of the circumstances that I've run into police. I've run into officials who have the power over you and can do anything they want to you. Pixelberry, you failed. So, thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace.